Here's a way to know your military is in a crisis. It's when they have something called flip-flop Fridays. So the general of the Canadian Armed Forces determined that it was somewhat triggering to have to wear combat uniforms 5 days a week. So they started casual Fridays. Not of the civilians, but of the serving apparent war fighters now have casual Fridays, but what is now being called in Ottawa flip-flop Fridays. So what I want to suggest is some other days for the military to reduce the triggering element that warriors can get by having to wear combat uniforms. I think we should have Misgender Me Mondays, which means you should have 4 name tags on your combat uniform. And if somebody misgenders you, you should immediately lose your shit and start yelling at people. And then maybe trigger Tuesdays. Maybe Tuesdays, you should just go through the military and just look for a reason to be triggered and then write that and tell your boss about it. There's obviously Woke Wednesdays. Maybe on Woke Wednesdays, everybody should dye their hair or get a couple extra piercings. What I'm saying is when the Canadian Armed Forces doesn't allow the use of warrior and has flip-flop Fridays and is wondering why we can't recruit new people to the military, they might want to take a look south of the border. Because whether or not you want to feel morally superior to Trump or the US, the reality is that their military's recruiting has gone through the roof. Their retention has improved dramatically. Why? Because they're focusing on lethality and a warrior culture. That's what attracts people to your military. They know their target audience. The Canadian Armed Forces have become a social policy tool to try to influence how people see the world rather than focusing on defending this nation to protect our citizens from enemies of the state.